Also, if I'm moving or fidgeting too much, give me a cue
Okay.
because I will.
No problem. Um, Late night 2, Haji P, and I am ready.
All right, you can start by just saying who you are.
So I am Haji P, doodleist, former MC, teacher, regular anus nobody.
All right, I'll just start with some warming up questions. So what was some of the music that was on your playlist that we were listening to?
Oh man. So what we were just listening to was Helter Skelter, Fonte, uh, Doc Reed. Who was the last
Who's
person?
Doc Reed? That sounds like a comic
No,
character.
so no, Doc Reed is a 1930s, not really blues, but like Doc Reed and Vera Hall are like sing like a lot of like Negro spiritual, like 1937 spiritual music.
Swing Low, Sweet Chariot.
In the vein of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Also, and I don't know if this is messing up. Dude,
Yeah, he's looking off to the side when he's talking.
yeah, so if I'm talking to you, like,
You want to look?
should you be, like, how do you want me to look? Should I be looking straight at the camera?
Yeah, you should be looking closer to the camera.
Okay.
Unless you can hear him and just look this way.
Oh no, I can. I'm just used to
Looking at who you're
looking
talking
at who
to.
I'm talking to.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
so cool. So I'll keep it on the camera.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So Doc Reed, Vera Hall. I don't remember who else was on the playlist.
Okay. Do you remember when you first heard Eazy-E Boys in the Hood?
Oh my god. The first time I heard Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood. Timothy Hatchett. It was my homeboy when I grew up in Hawaii, and we were in the A plus program, and like Timmy was a skate rat, and I don't think at this point I was really hardcore listening to music of any type, rap, punk, whatever. I was just rolling with a bunch of skate rats who, like there was always this weird intersection between like hardcore punk and like hardcore rap. And we had left like the after school program and went to Timmy's house, and like he played the tape, and like it was the boys in the hood always, and it blew my, cause like Timmy was this Portuguese kid, he was like straight Portuguese kid from the islands, just straight island kid, and that was the first time I heard that song. God, dog, I didn't even think about it. That was crazy. Anyway, yeah, the first time I heard him, like, we were on a skate tear.
So at that time when you heard it, did you have any idea what an Impala is?
Heck no, I lived on an island. I lived on an island, and I think I was like 11 or 12. I didn't even have a concept of what a car was. My mom drove a Dodge Shadow with a license plate that said Jersey Girl. And that's the only car that I knew even existed. And like everything was all like skateboards. We were skate rats. That's the only thing that I knew at that time. Yeah, the cars were complete second, third, fourth thought.
Okay. So so speaking of car culture, when you're Bay Area, how is Bay Area car culture like different than other areas?
So
And before, it didn't matter, it was just kind of warmer questions, but make sure you incorporate the question in the answer.
So, I think everybody's Bay Area experience is their own personal experience. I know the Bay is huge on, like, that's where hyphy, like sideshows, like the whole ghost riding whip thing. Like that's where all of that was prominent. But my experience in the Bay Area was like real city, real gutter, just like kind of the more dirty nomadic parts of like San Francisco. I lived in Santa Cruz, but I was in San Francisco a lot. And everybody that I knew, like even like rappers, we traveled through BART, Caltrain, Muni, 17 bus. So it wasn't about the car, but the buses and the public transit was its own culture, right? Like that's what my experience was like. Like, when we would write songs, like we would reference the Muni, we reference Caltrain, we reference what it was like to just be wild faded on the back of a Muni bus, like on the way to a show, or just getting faded on like the Caltrain, either when a Giants game was happening or the Giants game had finished, and just hella people in orange and black just wilding out like on the Caltrain. And I know it's not a car, but like in terms of like hip hop rides, that was our hip hop ride, like the Caltrain, the BART, and and the Muni system.
Hold on real quick. Check your necklace. Move
Tuck it
on
in?
the side, or just move it on the side. Can you tuck it in? I already seen it now.
Oh, it's
It's clipped on it.
yeah, it's clipped to it. So yeah, if I move it, you'd have to. Well, whatever. I can clip it back to where it's at.
Yeah, it just keeps hitting the mic. So even you probably place it over, it might be fine.
I can just tuck it in. Will that ruin the continuity of the shot?
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'd be alright. It'd be right in the sense of you want him to move it around. That's what you mean?
Yeah, I'll put it over here.
I move around? Okay, yeah, just don't shake me so hard.
All right, I don't think I'm.
And you can if you want to tuck it in.
Well, no, because I get the continuity.
But there's no continuity because it's going to all get chopped up.
Yeah, tuck it in or just turn it around or something.
I'll just tuck it in.
Because if I keep hitting the mic, that's going to be the worst.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll just tuck it in.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So tell me, and I don't know if this kind of coincide with the last question, but so tell me about the car scene in the Bay Area.
I think that was the last question. Like you asked about the car scene, and I told you my experience with the car scene.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't about like all the Impalas and all the hype stuff. It was like my experience in the Bay was like public transit and just like the culture that surrounded that, with just like hella dirty city kids and just kind of regular Bay Area people, like day-to-day Bay Area people. And this is coming from somebody who the Bay is kind of a second or third home to me. Like I'm not born and raised there. I was adopted into the Bay.
I didn't choose this life; it chose me.
Yeah, life chose me.
So, what car trend used to be hype that you don't really see around anymore?
Yo, the the Geo Tracker. I remember like the Geo Tracker and the Suzuki Rodeo.
Samurai Suzuki.
Was it Samsung? Yeah.
That was,
Yeah, but like straight up the Geo Tracker. I remember, especially in Hawaii, like everybody had a Geo Tracker, and I don't know if just because they were hella affordable, because there's no way there's not even a Geo in existence now. But I used to think they were so dope, and because the spare cover used to have the globe or whatever on it, but I would see them everywhere. Like I would recognize a Geo Tracker from like miles away. They came in like the aqua green, I think was like the most popular color, and this is something I've never seen in a long time, but I remember that being a very prominent like car that I recognized as a trend growing up.
Um, how would you say hip hop and car culture are connected?
I mean,
Remember incorporated.
it's completely integrated into the lifestyle, right? Like, you know, a lot of hip hop is, you know, it can be a lot of flash. It's not all it is, but a lot of it is just kind of opulence. Like, you know, look at what I have in terms of, you know, this is what makes me better than you. It's hip hop is a completely braggadocio sport. Like it's the only music where the premise is I am better than you. And in order for me to prove that I'm better than you, I need to have, you know, I need to have the better sweat socks, the better quilt, and the better car. I don't know if anybody in hip hop is really messing with a quilt, but cars are always a big part of that because that's, you know, 2 miles an hour, so everybody sees you. How is you can't top that. You can't fade that. And just ever people like to talk about hip hop now, and they're like, "Oh, that ain't real hip hop." People talking about money and clothes and cars, and I'm like, "Yo, do your homework, homie. That's all hip hop has ever been about. It has always been about fly clothes, fly cars. I just don't think there's any way to have a conversation about hip hop. I mean, the INC ride. Let's look at Master Ace. Like Master Ace wasn't a rapper who was known to be a flashy rapper. He was always a rapper. He was like the rapper's rapper. You know, since forever. And then he dropped one of the illest raps about cars to date. You know, you can't fade that. Like you can't fade that. It's completely integrated. It is 100% part of the culture. And I think people who try to deny that aren't allowed to say that they are hip hop fans. And that's a hard statement and I stand by it. You cannot say you're a hip hop fan if you deny kind of the flashier side of what you think hip hop is.
Do you have a favorite? So, do you have either a favorite song that's kind of about a car? Or
Yes, the INC ride. My favorite car song is the INC ride. Because I'm not a car. Oh, sorry. I'm not a car person. I mean, I don't know. Like I do have my preferred cars and just stuff that I like. But in terms of like being able to identify with songs about cars, that no, Born to Roll, INC Ride and Born to Roll, but both Master Ace. But the line, somebody caught us slipping, did with my ride, but we gonna catch it on the B side. God, that was I don't even know why that was such a dope line to me. But like Born to Roll and like INC Ride are my favorite like hip hop car songs. Big shouts out to Master Ace. I don't think he gets enough flowers. All your flowers, homie. All your flowers.
As far as